You saw the thumbnail and read that description. That's why I'm fixing to give you 5 grilled salmon cheat codes. I got no time for some slimy cedar planks. We're going right on them grates for a fatty crust. So you too can enjoy easy peasy, super simple smoky salmon. With sake it to me. Okay, we're going with a real simple 2-zone fire here today. I'm going all lump, and to take advantage of that, I have an extra charcoal grate so that the smaller chips don't slip down to the bottom. Before I line the bed of this hot zone with lump, I'm gonna start with 3 small chunks of applewood. Then I'll probably put about a chimney's worth in there on the hot zone. It's a pretty sizable chimney we're gonna start in there. The idea is to get this piping hot, throw our cooking grate on top, and what we want to do on that cooking grate once it gets piping hot is give it a nice scraping and cleaning. Hey, that's not even a pro tip, that's an average Joe tip. Don't be throwing salmon on some crusty old nasty grill you didn't clean. I mean it, I don't want to catch you doing that. I hate to see that kind of thing in my town. Again, on the note of strategery, don't go seasoning your salmon right off or before you start the fire. I'm honestly not trying to build up some gnarly pellicle on this thing with a great deal of sweat. I want a nice clean flip on the face side before we go throwing it on its skin. Hot coals going on. I'm gonna pop those grates on, give them a good clean once they get up to temp. All right, this grill is El Scorcho. Time to clean these grates off and get them oiled up. And shout out to my main man, Phil from Daddy Cooks. This is one of his grill cleaning hacks. Just get a little Scotch-Brite steel scouring pad. Clean those grates right off. I like to oil the grates up with Pam, and that's what we're using today, but be careful for flare-ups. We're gonna let that Weber get back up to temp and throw some salmon on here. This salmon's gonna be scrum-dilly and super simple. I'm gonna slice this fillet into 4 pieces for easy flipping and even cooking. And then it's time to dry those dudes off and work a little avocado oil binder into that meat. You already know we're going with AP rub, aka Big Savory, and keep it light so the flavor of the salmon comes through. If it ain't right, it ain't tight. I like to get the skin and the meat, season both those sides, and make it twice as nice. Okay, time to put these on. Here's what we're working with. I'm trying to put the skin side on close to the hot zone to get a nice good scald on them. Build up that crust. All right, that won't take long at all. We're setting a timer for 4 minutes and getting ready to flip. Okay, team, I think it's about time to flip these dudes. You never can be too careful. And you wonder if the oversized spatula would come in handy. Well, let me tell you, today's the day. And what you want to do is a nice fast motion, and that's why I lined the grates up like I did. There we go. Woo, got a little aggressive there, gang, sorry. Okay, I like what I'm seeing. I'm gonna give this 5-6 minutes, see where we're at. Hopefully you notice I took those and scooted them over a little closer to the cool zone and away from the hot zone. This way, it's almost like searing a steak off. Wait until it gets up to temp. What we're shooting for is between 133 and 145. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. Time to temp these bad boys, see where we're at. Far one is 129, 130, okay. Oof, 146. Oh yeah. All right. 5 minutes rest. I'm so used to doing a knife and getting slice time. Well, no knife needed on this, guys. Oh yeah. And one of the keys is you don't want to see too much fat building up on the surface. Still got a little color in there. Oh yeah. You know, so rarely do I use forks on this show, but I think you kind of have to have a little fork action for that. Still tender, beautiful, pink on the inside there. And you don't even really have to use the fork, you just push it down. Push it down, it'll fluff off. Look how soft that is. Super simple, easy peasy, and it turned out awesome. Just to recap real quick, those 5 cheat codes, just so you know. Hey, number 1, clean and oil your grates. Make sure whatever you're cooking on is not only clean, but nice and primed up and oiled. I don't care if you're using Pam, olive oil, avocado oil, you name it. And number 2, you gotta dry that salmon off and put a nice protective coat of oil all over it. I think that's one of the key factors to prevent sticking. And number 3, you gotta cook at a high temperature, 450, 500 or more, to get a nice sear and a crust on that face side of the salmon. Speaking of that face side, you want to start this cook off at high heat with the skin up, and then flip it once, back it off of that high heat into the cool zone, finish it off to your desired temp. 4 is just to reiterate, I like to start on the face side. I want a nice crust on it, and then that way I can finish out the cook on the skin side, and the skin will act as a protective layer for that salmon. And 5 is just more of a rule of thumb. You don't want to see a bunch of white lines of fat propagate themselves up to the top of that salmon. If you see that, you've gone too far. So you want to keep an eye on that salmon and preserve the color that's still in there. You don't want it getting too pale, and you certainly don't want to see a bunch of white lines of fat. That's my super smoky salmon cheat codes, gang. If you enjoyed this video, you want any more cooks or experiments from my channel, ring that bell, click subscribe, join my tribe, jump in the backyard, hang with my gang, and you could get to cooking with us. Man, I'm a jumble, a tumble of words, boy. Just remember to turn on this light for the ambiance. I hope that was recording. Flies on this. It's a squaggle bus.